Hey everyone, how you doing? So I have this Cloud Key Gen 2 Plus, and I had an issue where it had a power outage and it got corrupted, and it's supposed to shut down properly when there's a power outage because there's an internal battery. I suspected that there was an issue with the battery. I ended up trying to shoot a video showing you how to take it apart, and I did that, but the battery or the card actually ran out of space, so the video didn't get shot. Long story short, it did have a bad battery pack in it. You can see it's all bubbled up and just it's a balloon, so it's shot. It's not holding a charge. So anyway, I tried to look for videos online to figure out how to take this thing apart, and I couldn't find any. So I decided, well, I got a little bit of time on my hands. I'll shoot a video for anyone else trying to take it apart. So anyway, here we go. So you want to start by removing the hard drive. I'm just going to dive right in. And then take a spudger, either plastic or I have this really sharp metal one that I use, and you remove this sticker here on the bottom for the rack connection. And this was the trickiest part for me, because from here it looks like, well, it should just slide through, but it doesn't. So this is just a plastic faceplate, so you really need something sharp. So I use this sharp metal spudger. You could try and use a plastic one like this, but I don't think you're going to get in there. So you really need something really sharp so you can get in here and just start prying it up. And you got to be careful because there's, it's nice plastic that covers it up. So I just took, and you can see, I just take and I put it in there, and I just use the sharp side of the spudger, and I'm just cutting the glue underneath. And then sometimes, I'll take another spudger, or I have a lot of different tools, pick tools that I use for different things, and you want to get in there and hold it up. So anyway, I'm just taking and I'm just cutting the glue away underneath right now. And I'm putting a lot of force to do that. I'm just going to hold it up with my finger. Ooh. And you want to be careful when you get down here so you don't break it. There's a power button. There's a bunch of stuff here that you want to work around. But I'm just holding the plastic piece up and I'm cutting the glue away with this sharp metal spudger. There's a lot of glue on there, and it's stuck really good, as you can see. So anyway, there is the back plastic piece, and that reveals a bunch of screws that we need to take out. All right, so we've now got the screws removed. That back plate comes off. A little bit of glue with it. So there's just a back plate here, and this will push out, but we need to first remove the hard drive release switch. And I'll tell you, it's kind of a pain in the butt. I had to use these pliers, and you have to, let me see if I can put some light on that to show you. So this is not going to work out very well, I don't think. So let's see if I can zoom in here. There we go. All right, so right in here, there's a plastic clip, and you have to squeeze the two sides together and push it through this metal plate right here, and that'll just pop the switch right there. That'll just pop the switch out. All right, so let's attempt to do that without breaking it. This is the second time I've done it, so it's weaker. And then, also, you have to kind of push it more over at the same time because it puts too much pressure on it otherwise, I found. And then, anyway, I'm just squeezing it, the pliers pushing it through that metal piece there. So, there we go. So that pops out. Okay. So then you think, oh, okay, now it should just slide right out because I've got all the screws on the back out. I've got that switch out, but it doesn't. So the next fun part is the LCD screen on the front. You need to be very careful when you do this. And I take the same sharp metal spudger, and let me see if you can see this. So right here on the edge where the LCD screen comes and meets the plastic, it's glass, and I just take and I just pry it up. You have to be really careful because there's a ribbon cable under there. All right, so it's right under here is where you start to gently pry. There we go. So there is the LCD screen and the glass. And that reveals, zoom back out, two more screws here and here that we need to remove. So we'll remove those real quick. Okay. And then you would think, okay, now it should come out. It wiggles. But remember, we still have the connector on the bottom. So that, again, use something sharp and just get in there, and it just kind of pries up. Okay, underneath it's just a standard connector, just like that. So remove the connector. Just like that. stuff it back inside, and then it just pushes out. And we've got our empty case. It's just a piece of aluminum. Here is the cloud key device. So we've got the motherboard, the processor, and everything's under there. The battery, I'll be honest, it was a pain in the butt. So the battery, it's glued in, you know, with some really goopy, sticky glue, just like this. And this cable is tucked inside underneath the plastic and plugged in right here. So it was just kind of a pain, honestly, to get out. I didn't want to tear the coating and possibly tear into the battery and start a fire or something. So anyway, it obviously gets really hot right where the battery is. It's just on the other side of the processor. So, and as you're all aware, these cloud keys get super hot. So anyway, that's how you tear it apart. So what I did, I just removed the battery. I don't really care. I'm going to put this on a UPS and then just force myself to shut it down properly using the power button or you know, the GUI. So anyway, I'm going to shut it down properly and put it on a UPS. So to put it back together, it's just doing exactly the opposite of what we just did. So I'm going to push this connector in, line it up, and slide it through. Might need a plastic spudger to kind of help keep it where it belongs. And you can bring that up, and it is keyed, so this will only, these pins will only go on a certain way. So connect the pins, and then those 4 clips should just go right back in, hopefully. Line it up right. Might need help from a tool. Fourth pin is kind of being a pain, but I don't want to break it. Okay, I must have got it misaligned. Let's try again. There we go. When all else fails, just ram it in. All right, it's in though, it's solid. So, please don't be stuck down. All right, so now we're going to put these 2 screws in the front. Okay, found the screw. Okay, just going to set that there gently. All right, so now I'm going to put these screws in. Okay. And now that I've had this apart twice, this actually held together really well the first time I put it back on. The tape is sticky, but I want to make sure that doesn't just pop off. So I'm going to just use, my wife as a scrapbooker. So I'm just going to use her double-sided sticky tape. I do this more often than I probably should on projects. And I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on those edges that were glued before. There we go. So we've got 3 of the 4 sides taped. I think that 4th side will hold fine. And we're just going to line it back up and press it back in there. All right, it went in. Nice and easy. Cool. Don't have any glue coming out the sides. Nope. So, all right. So now that we've got the screen back in, we've got this back in, I'm going to put, let's see, what did I do with that? Oh, there it is. I'm going to add a little bit of sticky to this as well. Maybe. This one doesn't know. Maybe it's... Okay, we're going to cheat and do it this way. Just trying to keep it off of the terminals as much as possible. Okay, and I'm just going to stick this back on. Cover those up as best I can. And then once that's on, I'm just going to rub off the excess glue. Okay, pretty good. And if y'all are wondering what these feet are, I just put some felt bumpers on there just to keep it so it wasn't metal to metal on the shelf that I had it sitting on. Okay, so got that back on. Now we got to get this hard drive release switch back in. So if you look at it, the clasp or the catch is offset. So you just need to make sure you're putting it in right side up. And again, let me zoom in here. So I'm just going to slide this over so that it lines up. So it lines up right there. Slide it there. And then I'm just going to push it in. Just like that. Maybe. I wish it were just like that. There we go. Push it in and just kind of pinch it together until those clip through. And then it works. All right. So now, zoom back out for you. So now we can put this plate back on right here. And the biggest thing here, just make sure that everything lines up. It should be pretty easy. The power button is right here, so make sure that power button lines up. And it does. And this is super sticky. I'm not putting any more glue on it. It was super hard to get off the second time even. So anyway, so we're gonna put the screws back in this back plate. One nice thing about this build is least to my knowledge, they made every screw that you need to take out the same size. So there's no keeping track of different hardware. I really appreciate that. All right, so we've got that. Now we want to put the back black plastic plate on. You just make sure that it lines up with everything, and then press it down really good. Way it doesn't come off unless you want it to. All right, so it's all pressed down. We slide hard drive back in, and we are complete. Looks like new, minus a battery. So if you want, here I'll zoom in on that. If you want to order a new battery for yours, it's a 7.4 volt, 300 milliamp hour, and it's got a 3-pin connector. So it'd be 2 cells in there, and I'm guessing that the 3 wires are just so they can charge the cells individually. I'm not sure what they do. So anyway, I'm not going to try and fix it. I'm just going to leave it out. So anyway, I hope this helps someone. Thanks for watching.